we are going to very quickly graze through certain things that's going on with education system. So this is a very interesting, you must have seen forward on WhatsApp, a very interesting forward.
Any company merchandise, only package, no baggage.
You don't seem to be worried about your career. You seem really calm.
I am calm because I am a techie, and techies are calm because they know they will always have calm as in work. See, it's like you fire the cook from the restaurant. No problem. The cook can fire her kitchen, her cloud kitchen, anywhere now. Techies are cooks. We are agile. As long as there are apps and appetite, cooks and techies will have calm. We are the calm.
So you're not worried about ChatGPT taking your job then?
You have to stop saying this. You sound like that guy when the calculators were invented. Oh, calculators are here. They're going to steal jobs. Whose jobs? Those guys who can only add and subtract. Oh, even if ChatGPT can take away our jobs, it'll have to get in line behind geopolitics and pandemic and investors and shareholders. I lost my job because the investors of the company were not sure their investment will become 400x in the coming year. How will we go to Mars? Someone else lost job because the investors thought, if the other company can lay off 12K people and still work as usual, we also try. Artificial intelligence can never overtake human paranoia and human curiosity. AI can only do what human beings have been doing. Only humans can do what no human has ever done before. Have 24,000 people been laid off in a year ever before? Don't blame technology. Yesterday's postman is today's delivery executive. Yesterday's sysadmin is today's cloud engineer. ChatGPT is not eating into our jobs. ChatGPT has already made a meal out of my 4-year engineering course. Universities will have to do a course correction now, pun intended. What is there to be taught after all memorizing has been outsourced to the robot? Creativity and how to use ChatGPT, the only engineering course.
What do you think should change about employment and hiring?
Isn't that very interesting? What she says is
say no to any
only creativity and ChatGPT. 2 courses required in today's world. The only 2 courses that we need in today's world are ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT, and creativity. Nothing else is required. All that we memorize, read, an engineering course begins in the first year with vacuum tube diodes and triodes, which was used 100 years ago. How the vacuum tube diodes, they are huge. The diodes are huge. We don't even see them now. But we begin teaching children all that in the first year engineering. What we are doing, God alone knows. But you know, a lot of people, around 24,000 people have lost jobs. Engineers have lost jobs this year. And ChatGPT has come in. There are so many other features now. There is no need for programming. You don't have to learn coding. You don't have to know anything. There's something called no code. Without coding, you can make your own app. Me and you can design apps and make apps for ourselves also, personal apps. We don't need to know programming, coding. We don't need to learn. Complete sweep ChatGPT has done. Technology we cannot run away from. It has come to stay and it will overtake humans. Humans will have to decide and learn to think, get creative. Critical thinking, creative thinking. The most apt for the 21st century skills. Critical thinking and creative thinking, most important 21st century skills, and we have to prepare children for that. So what are we doing now? This is a very beautiful slide, westernization of the education system. Can somebody guess what is this about? Where is this from, or who's this person here? Any guesses? Any guesses? When the British, this is Lord Macaulay, when the British introduced the education system in India, Western education system in India, this is the MOM. This is part of the MOM. It's a historical official document. And the document says, this is what Lord Macaulay said, explained. They introduced the Western education in India. Okay, it was not to westernize Indians, but Indianization of its agency. They wanted Indianization of their education system. They wanted to get Indianized. So they brought the education system here. But what happened is we got westernized and we got into that, and we still want to do that. What they introduced, have textbooks, set textbooks, whatever curriculum portions, make question papers, correct answers, write down notebooks, answers in the notebook. No creativity, no critical thinking. And we are still stuck to that. Parents are still stuck to that. And parents only want their children to do that. Hindi tuition, science tuition, social studies tuition. If the child gets less marks in Hindi and social studies, also parents are very worried. No, in second standard, first standard, my child must get full marks in all subjects. My child doesn't need to become thoughtful. I don't need to think of the thought process of the child. Post grade 10, what my child does, I don't want to bother about. How will the world be? With Chat GPT here, what's going to happen next in the next 10, 15 years is crazy. But then we still want our children to go to a Hindi tuition, social studies tuition, EVS tuition, and then write everything 10 times, 20 times and get full marks in Hindi, Kannada, EVS and all the subjects. And this is what they introduced, the Western education system. They wanted to get Indianized because they had seen Indians really brainy. So many breakthroughs had happened in India. The Indians were amazing, amazingly brilliant. And they wanted to understand, how is it that we managed to get so brilliant? How are Indians creating so much, thinking so much? They wanted to take something from India, but what happened was they left it for us and we are still stuck. They are somewhere else now. So there comes the NEP. Now, why NEP? 2020, the last national, lot of principals here. I think we need to get active now. All principals, I request you all to get active. Let's get interactive now. Let's talk together. When was the last NEP made? Declared. National Education Policy. So every country, our country also, we have a policy statement, which is called the National Education Policy. And the union government declares that this is what education has to do. This is why we have education system in our country. And then all other schools, everybody, the entire country has to follow the policy made by the government. My question is, when was the last education policy made before this 2020? Anybody here?
1986, ma'am.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was 1986. And after so many years, how many years? 36 years, we have come up with a national education policy again in 2020. So anybody here, why do you think the government thought of making a new education policy? Changing the education policy suddenly now, after 36 long years? Anybody? So do you think somebody went, sat under the Bodhi tree, got enlightened and said, yay, new education policy we need? Like the Buddha did? Was that enlightenment? What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Somebody? Yeah, please write.
Ma'am, because of too much of pressure on children these days.
These days, which days? Only in 2020, 2019, do you think there was pressure? Not in the last 36 years. And was there undue pressure suddenly? You know now NEP has come with a force. It's been really, really forceful. Do you see that? All the principals will know. I don't know how much the parents will realize that it's been very, very forceful, this NEP this time. So somebody says it was outdated, Shailza. Outdated after 36 long years? So much happened in the meantime. 2000, we know the year 2000, what happened? Computers were there, everything was there. Google was there, internet, many things. 36 years, isn't that a long, long time? So let me come to the point. You see that PISA written there, PISA? PISA is an international assessment conducted by OECD once in 3 years. And OECD began this for all the European countries to have a uniformity in their education system across countries. And to, check the progress of what is going on. And in 2015, India also registered for PISA. They picked up children from Tamil Nadu and all the best schools, best KVs and Navodayas, and they picked up the best children, filtered, trained them, and they registered. And India stood 73rd out of 74 countries. And that was a real failure, setback for India. And that is when everybody got to know, the central government got to know that we have to do something different now. Where are we? Why are we so much behind? Why are Indians not able to read, comprehend? Why did we get a last rank? Now, this is going to work on our GDP, se leke economy, our development stages. Everything will get affected because of this, because of our performance in PISA. Now, this is a global exam. The whole world knows now, everybody knows. India stood last. India got the last rank. Indians are bad. What will be our face value now? So that is where the government decided that we'll need to do something very different. What we are doing is wrong. And they tried to understand. It took us 4 years, 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19. So NAS was conducted. That's called the National Assessment Survey. Surveys were done across the country, across schools. Students were tested, assessed, and they found out what is going on, how are children, and they saw they had pathetic results. And then a committee was made, a report was made, and then they decided what to do. They understood the education policies of other countries, which way is the world heading and where are we now. And then finally the NEP was brought in. So the purpose, this is about the constitution and NEP. Why is the education system even there in our country is what the constitution says. It is absolutely aligned to the constitution. And it says that we need to produce what kind of people? Engaged, productive, and contributing citizens. We need to produce citizens who can be engaged, productive, and contributing. Contributing in the sense what? Does it mean that, okay, my son, he grows up, he does a degree, engineering degree, he can go to the US, earn some dollars? Is that contributing to the country? In a sense, yes, you get dollars and you come back to our country, you get something to our country. True. But is that real contribution? Here we come across making breakthroughs and, creating something new. We want mathematicians, we want scientists, we want technology. We all the time depend on technology for other countries. We cannot create technology. We can assemble, we cannot create technology. So we want Indians to create our own technology, become self-sufficient, get some awards, global awards, Nobel Prizes. Okay. That is contributing for the country, looking at the progress of the country. So that is when NEP was, and to do that, we need to be global, right? We'll have to get global. Everything is global now. Everything is global. Internet is there. The way the sun shines on everybody, internet also shines on all the countries across the globe equally, just like the sun does. And we have to get into this. We cannot keep ourselves away and say, no, we want to be backward. We don't want to create technology. We don't want awards. We don't want to do anything. If our children earn enough for the family and he has enough to send his children to school and buy a property, enough for us. We don't need anything else. We don't want to care about what the country is, where India stands. So to get global, there are challenges. For example, in Dubai, very interesting point that I got to know recently. I was listening to one webinar. The rule in Dubai, this is the government policy in Dubai. Okay, it's a government policy. There are a lot of Indian schools in Dubai, CBSE, ICSE schools also. They also follow this. So there has to be every school must conduct 2 levels of exams. They have 2 levels of exams. Every school. Level 1 exam is their school-based exam. Whatever tests, assignments, assessments they conduct in school, that is level 1, their school level exam. Level 2 is the international. Each and every student has to be registered to some international exam every year. Okay, one international exam, global exam is compulsory, mandatory in Dubai. So they compare the results of both. How have the children done in the international exam, the level 2 international assessment, and this is the school-based assessment. They compare the two. So in the school-based assessment, the child has got 100%. And in the international assessment, the child has got 10% or 15%. Then the school is not allowed to make more admissions. The school is not allowed to increase the fee structure. The school has to first make these both aligned. If a child gets 100% in school-based exam, the child must get 100% in the international standards also. They're compared. The schools don't get away setting easy papers, giving important questions, making children write 10 times and get good scores and say your child is very good. They check where do they stand in the international assessment, international standards. Every school, mandatory. If this fails, if students have failed in the international assessment, the scores are not good, then the school is not allowed. They take away the license. They cannot make more new admissions and they cannot increase the fee structure until they improve on this. Only then the school can increase the fee structure. They can make more admissions. Beautiful. Okay, because most of the times we get carried away. In grade 1, the entire class gets 100 on 100 in math. What happens to all those kids, 100 kids in one ABC? By the time they come to 10th standard, what happens to the scores? Where are they later on? So the NEP 2020 brings good cheer and it aims at focus on quality of school education. Now, can we define what is this quality of school education? What do we mean by quality? I have cited an example just now. How do you define quality? Quality of school education. Why do you send your children to school? And what do you expect out of a school? And what do you think is quality of school education? Anybody here? Any discussion, any comments, any emotions, anything you all want to share? It will be great if you talk. It will be great if you all share. There are educators here. It's an interesting crowd, lot of principles, holistic development, give quality, quality education, somebody's written. Sarita ma'am, you have written quality education. What do you mean by quality education? Who would like to talk on quality education? I have very little time. I have very, very little time.
Enhancing child skill and potential.
Enhancing child skill and potential, okay. Values, okay. What else? How do we define? We say we want good quality schools. How do we define the quality of a school? So if my child grows up with some good values and the child can, live a good life, get married, have children, send the children to school again, and do all that we have been doing for years and years. Okay. There are comments coming up. Thank you so much. That's nice. Preparing child for real life experience. Okay. That's awesome. Very good. So focus is on improving the quality. Okay. This video series will focus. Okay. Let's go down to the next part. There are changes that have happened. Now this is beautiful, a dramatic shift. The NEP 2020 has made a dramatic shift. It was India learns by rote. You can see the parrot there and you understand what it means. And what's happening now? Higher order thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and this is what NEP focuses on. So our child should get good values and education, okay? So now NEP focuses on higher order thinking, problem solving, critical thinking. What is problem solving here? Our textbooks, R.S. Agarwal has got 6 exercises with 20-30 problems in each exercise. They solve all of them, all the 6 exercises. Is that problem solving? And they get similar questions in their exams. Do you call it problem solving? Please think, is that problem solving? So what NEP is stressing on is shift the stress on the content. We are not going to look at the content now. Content cramming, lot of chapters, lot of stuff we teach children and we cram them with lot of information. But now we are going to focus on thinking skills, critical thinking and problem solving. This is what NEP says. I'm going to hurry up a little because we are short of time, and please keep talking. If you have anything to say, please keep asking questions. We can have discussions. So coming to NEP 2020, the content, pedagogy and assessment are the 3 aspects. And NEP says the content would contain concepts, core essentials of all the subjects, Indian values, artificial intelligence has got importance now. AI has become very, very important. There's so much to talk about AI. I began with ChatGPT, but we don't have much time. I'm just giving you dimag mein keeda lagana. Okay. And then you start exploring and you can see, I have got all of these out of Google, so you can get these too. Higher order thinking. Higher order thinking has become very, very, very important now. Higher order thinking includes critical thinking, creative thinking, inquiry-driven teaching, discovery-driven teaching, analysis, mathematical thinking, computational skills. All this has become very important for NEP 2020. The focus is here, higher order thinking, which hasn't been there so long. Maybe when we sat in school, we studied in school, we did not do all of these things at all. We just had to memorize and write. Even in math, we had to memorize and do few problems, if you agree. Pedagogy is how we teach. I have taken you through what we are going to teach. Henceforth, pedagogy is how we teach. We do competency-based teaching, integration of subjects, no separation of subjects, and experiential learning, integration of technology. This is how we are going to teach. Now, I'm not going to stress on anything. In case there are questions, doubts, please feel free to ask. So how we teach is going to change. Now we are not going to open a textbook inside the classroom anymore. Read out of the textbook and children look at the textbook and they write answers. That's not going to happen anymore. It will be experiential teaching, learning, integration of technology, integration of subjects. And this is a very new, very, very relevant word, competency. The word competency rules NEP 2020. The word competency. So competency basically consists of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Knowledge, skill, and attitude, these three together make the word competency. And we look at developing competencies in children now. They need to have the knowledge and information. They need to have the right skills, and they must have the right attitude to use their skills. And this is called competency. Very relevant word. Any questions, any comments? Anything you want to share, please keep sharing. How we are going to assess children will also change now. Competency based, again, you see the word competency rules. Maybe, in the next 3 years, the CBSE has already started making changes. 35% of the question paper is competency based. CBSE 10 standard and 12 standard. Next year, another 20%. Next year, another 20%. In the next 2-3 years, 100% of the paper will be competency based. Please go to the CBSE website, have a look at the question paper. Assessment of higher order thinking will happen. Shift focus from rote memory, focus on concept clarity, deeper questioning, beautiful, and self-assessment. Children will be taught how to assess themselves. They will be taught, they will do their own assessment also, which is very beautiful. So this is interesting that I found. Somebody's teaching no code. No coding means, see, what blows my mind is the fact that 99% of the jobs in the digital economy don't require a college degree. You don't have to go to college and do an engineering degree or any kind of degree. You need to just pick a skill and do it. If you know how to use ChatGPT, there's something called no code. So here you can make your apps. You don't have to know coding and programming. It's called no code. No coding, no programming, no C++, nothing. You can still make your own app. It's become so simple now. People don't need a college degree anymore because what we teach is redundant, absurd. A little quick look at the brain. Here we have the limbic system. This is called the limbic system. Amygdala, hippocampus, thalamus. We always read about these parts of the brain and we skip this limbic system. It's a very important part of the brain. The limbic system is just below the cerebrum and it's called the emotional brain. The limbic system is called the emotional brain and it takes care of higher mental functions like learning and formation of memories. So the all learning is controlled by this part of the brain called the limbic system. If limbic system says, look at the positioning of the limbic system, it's here. So the limbic system has to open. It's like a gate. If it opens, all the information goes straight from here, from the spinal cord to the cerebrum, and cerebrum is where processing of the information happens. But if the limbic system says shut, I don't like this, the information will not even reach cerebrum, it goes back. So there is no processing. Some people keep staring at you. They don't understand anything. They cannot process because the information has not gone to the cerebrum at all. The limbic system said no. The limbic system was shut and the information doesn't reach the cerebrum. I request everybody here to read, research, know more about the limbic system. Every parent, every teacher, every educator must know what the limbic system does. And only then you are a fruitful educator or a parent, successful educator or a parent. We know everything about food, protein, vitamin, whatever, K, I, we know potassium. We know everything. Here, how learning happens, how limbic system controls learning, we just don't know. So emotional brain, the limbic system, the emotional brain that is called the limbic system has the power to open or close access to learning. Do you see how important this is? It can open access to learning. It can close access to learning. And we have to keep the limbic system happy all the time. We program the limbic system. If the limbic system says trouble, access shuts down. Limbic system will not. So this is what happens over a period of time. Across grades 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we shy away from giving challenges to our children. We want children to be very happy. Make it a very happy childhood. Let the child enjoy. Bachcha hai. Abhi kyo dena hai, tang karna hai. Let him go to 10th standard. He will perform then. Why trouble the child now? And we, keep the child away from challenges. What happens as the child grows up? When the child looks at a challenge for the first time in year 9 or year 10, coordinate, geometry, trigonometry, what does the limbic system say? Trouble, I have never seen all these things before. I cannot do all this. How will I handle? I have never known. The limbic system does not open. 90% of children run away from math. They say we cannot even do math. We just cannot take math. In 11th and 12th, they run away. They get scared. That fear sets in. And where is that fear? It's the limbic system. So we need to be very aware of how to keep the limbic system happy and make the limbic system say, great. This is what happened at PISA. We sent our 15-year-olds to PISA and children could not read the question and comprehend. because there were new questions, new varieties. And when the limbic system is happy, it says, wow, the elevator smoothly ascends to a penthouse of knowledge, imagination, and creativity. All the information goes to the cerebrum, and all knowledge, imagination, and creativity is there resting inside the cerebrum. And what controls? Emotion. This is called the emotional brain. The limbic system must know that we must face challenges with a smile. We must look at challenges with a smile. So we will not go to neural connections and all that synapses. And this is what is happening basically inside the classroom. Children grow up like this, feeling very sad and very upset. They're getting bored when they go to 10th, 11th, 12th.